She showed up to the Euphoria Season 3 premiere in a see-through top and a blazer. Got photographed, celebrated, posted on Instagram that she was grateful to be part of a legendary show. And then hours later was escorted off a Delta flight with her laptop taken out of her hands and a gate agent telling her the plane was not going anywhere until she got off it. This is the Natasha Lyonne story that everyone is talking about, and it is not simple. Because behind the tabloid headline is a timeline that matters, a relapse she announced publicly in January. A flight attendant announcement that went out over the intercom to an entire cabin of passengers. And a response from Lyonne herself that was vintage Natasha, deflecting, self-aware, and sharper than anyone expected. All of it gets broken down right here, start to finish. Before getting to the flight, the Euphoria premiere needs context. Because this was not just any red carpet for Natasha Lyonne. Lyonne, who joined the upcoming season as a guest star, had attended the premiere earlier in the evening at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood. She wore a chic blazer over a sheer, fully see-through top. She posted photos to Instagram. She wrote, "So grateful to be a part of this legendary show." She looked radiant. She looked like someone having a great night. What happened next is where the timeline gets complicated. Later that night, she was spotted on a red-eye flight to New York still wearing some of the same outfit from the event. Black stockings and oversized sunglasses, though she had changed into sneakers and a long black coat. She was headed to New York, reportedly to appear on the Drew Barrymore show the following morning to promote Euphoria. She had a first-class seat. The flight was LAX to JFK. She was apparently ready to sleep through the whole thing. The problem was, she was apparently already asleep before takeoff. So what exactly happened on that plane? And how did it end with the entire flight being turned around? According to eyewitness accounts reported by insiders, Lyonne appeared out of it while sitting in first class and didn't respond to flight attendants when asked to close her laptop or fasten her seatbelt for takeoff. She seemed to be dozing behind her sunglasses. Flight attendants tried repeatedly, no response. Her laptop was eventually taken from her hand. The plane taxied to the runway before turning back to the gate. The gate agent then boarded the plane, asked Lyonne if she needed medical attention. Lyonne's response, according to the eyewitness, was to shush the agent. She then stood up, walked to the bathroom, came back out, and deboarded without incident while eating pretzels. She left the plane eating pretzels. A Delta flight attendant then made an announcement to the remaining passengers over the intercom. "We have a passenger who, for whatever reason, wouldn't follow some basic commands. We had a passenger who didn't seem up to the task tonight. So that's why they were asked to be booked on another flight. I do apologize for the inconvenience, but we will get you to New York as quickly and as safely as possible." The flight departed for New York. Lyonne's first-class seat sat empty. The plane had been delayed for more than an hour. Now here is the layer of this story that makes it genuinely more complicated than just a celebrity behaving badly on a flight. In January 2026, Lyonne revealed she had relapsed after nearly 10 years of sobriety. "Took my relapse public, more to come," she wrote in a now-deleted tweet. She added, "Recovery is a lifelong process. Anyone out there struggling, remember you're not alone. 10 years, a decade of sobriety." And she announced the relapse herself, publicly on social media, before anyone else could break the story. That decision to go public on her own terms was consistent with everything Lyonne has said about addiction over the years. She has always been one of Hollywood's most honest voices on the subject. She did not hide from it. She put it out there, told fans she loved them, and said she was going to keep going. 2 months later, on March 19, she gave an update. "Proud to report this kid is doing a whole lot better and back on her feet." She wrote on X, "Want to thank our recovery communities and the fans who stood by and were so supportive. Aiming to keep the journey somehow private, but look forward to sharing my experience, strength, and hope as makes sense." That update was only 3 weeks before the Euphoria premiere. And then 3 weeks after that update came the Delta flight. The timeline sits there and speaks for itself. Nobody knows exactly what happened on that plane. The eyewitness account says she appeared out of it. Her representatives have not commented on the specifics. Delta declined to comment. What is publicly known is that she was asked to leave and she left with pretzels, and the plane went to New York without her. How did Natasha Lyonne herself respond when the story broke? With exactly the kind of response only Natasha Lyonne could produce. She posted on X, "My heart is with all the unpaid TSA agents at our airports." Sure was looking forward to speaking honestly with Drew Barrymore yesterday, but guess wasn't in the cards. She did not address the substance of what happened. She did not deny anything. She acknowledged missing the Drew Barrymore appearance. And then, in the same post, she called out the outlet that broke the story, writing, "Who owns Page 6? New York Post now again?" That line alone told the room she was sharp enough to deflect, self-aware enough to acknowledge the situation obliquely, and still in possession of the wit that has made her one of the most distinctive personalities in Hollywood for 3 decades. Later that same day, TMZ reported that a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson told the outlet, "Neither ICE nor TSA escorted or detained Natasha Lyonne." Lyonne had referenced TSA in her post. And the official denial from DHS added another layer of ambiguity to an already complicated story. There is one detail that changes the texture of this story considerably. On Friday, Lyonne addressed the incident directly, quoting an E! News article and disputing aspects of the report. She said she had taken a sleep aid before the flight and was trying to rest. "Thanks for the great reporting. Indeed, I took a Lunesta once seated to ensure some shut-eye on the Delta One red-eye flight to NYC, boarded seamlessly with just a backpack and sneakers. Eager for a nap, a prescription sleep aid on a red-eye flight, taken after a long premiere night." That context sits very differently from the Eyewitness account, and nobody has been able to fully reconcile the two versions since. The background on Lyonne's history is not light reading. In the early 2000s, following her rise to popularity after American Pie, she fell into a pattern of substance abuse that resulted in multiple incidents, including a DUI charge in 2001 and ending up in intensive care at a New York hospital in 2005. She entered a drug and alcohol treatment center in 2006 for a heroin addiction. In 2012, she underwent open heart surgery to repair a valve that had been previously damaged as a result of drug use. She came back. She built one of the most remarkable second acts in the entertainment industry. Russian Doll, Poker Face, Emmy nominations, genuine critical acclaim. And she did it while being completely honest about where she had been and how hard the road back had been. Despite the incident, Lyonne later made it to New York and attended the premiere of the upcoming documentary Lorne. About Saturday Night Live mastermind Lorne Michaels, she showed up. She kept moving. She missed the Drew Barrymore show. She got off the plane eating pretzels. She posted something cryptic and sharp on X, and then she went to New York anyway. That is Natasha Lyonne. All of it, the red carpet, the flight, the pretzels, the tweet, and the next event, all of it is Natasha Lyonne. If this breakdown covered what you came for, drop a like and subscribe. Sound off in the comments. What do you think really happened on that plane?